Working with your friends just makes life easier again, because you can go, I don't know, and not feel conscious about picking up on somebody's direction or on somebody's writing, or having your own ideas and having your own voice. Originally in '86 we was all in this big block of flats, and it was like the Waltons, you know, wake up in the morning, smells in her apartment, curtains wide open, sprawled out on the bed, people knocking on each other's doors. Tomo spilt something on his carpet, can I go and clean it up? No. You know, and it was great because what Shane was trying to do is bring the gang back together, get a real feel for the fact that we'd been away from each other for about 5 years. So he put us in flats together, which made total sense. But then when it came to '88, the gang has separated, and so has Woody and Lowell. So I had a flat one end of Sheffield, Woody had a flat the other end of Sheffield, and the rest of the gang was put up in hotels and was allowed to go out and do whatever they wanted to do, you know. Whereas me and Joe were told, you know, you stay in at night and you don't see anybody. But as it goes, me and Joe did bump into each other, and it got me into a lot of trouble. I got chucked out of my flat. The thing was, me and Joe didn't meet up on purpose. He'll vouch for me, but we met up and we saw each other, and it was really hard not to say hello and be like, how are you? And, you know, how the hell has filming been for you? So, you know, I was really honest with Shane. He came to my flat that night and I said, oh, I've got something to tell you. I saw Joe last night. And he just flipped. He was really annoyed. So I got chucked out of the flat, and then we didn't speak all day on set. And then, you know, through one thing or another, the next minute I'm packing all my stuff up back to go to the flat. But you know what, that's what I love. I love being able to tell these stories, because nobody died. You know, it's not like it was anybody, you know, me and Shane are really close, and it's just like friends in work. Sometimes it doesn't mix. And it's strange actually, because the last scene in '88, Woody's meant to come into the hospital, find Lol, and then they go off and they, you know, have their chat, which they did. But as it turned out, when Joe walked into the room, being that we've not seen each other for all this time, and this was the first thing that we'd shot, he came in, we both was crying our eyes out. The cameras follow us. We end up sitting on the stairs of this hotel, sparking a fag and talking as if it was a bit like Vicky and Joe. Shane was like, cut, get them apart, because, you know, instantly we've lost what we've been working on for the last month or so, not seeing each other. Anyway, Shane decided to play a bit of a trick and told Joe and Danielle, who plays Trev, that they've killed Lol off the series because they've shot two endings, one where she dies and one where she doesn't die. And Shane says basically because that didn't work, we've had to go with the other ending. So they were absolutely gutted, like, we've killed her, you know, that's it, there's no more Lol. So when he ran into the room and he noticed there was a made bed, he didn't know that my mum was then going to say, she's downstairs having a fag. So that reaction again is completely real. You know, Joe thought that I'd been killed off the show, and actually I was downstairs having a fag. I'm really excited about the future. I take every day as it comes. I don't have any plan, you know, to be here in 5 years or, you know, make sure I've done X, Y, and Z. You've just got to, I'm really grateful to be in the position I'm in. You know, even today, I'm completely overwhelmed by the fuss and, you know, the professionals that I'm working with. It's a massive thing for me. So I'm just trying to enjoy everything. And, you know, you don't know how this career is great because you could carry on doing it until you're 80, 90 years old. But, you know, people are always coming through, and there's always going to be somebody that's, you know, up in their game, and you've got to keep working hard, really.